Hello and welcome to the Power of Muscle podcast, brought to you by Mind Muscle Memory. And I'm Miles Betcher, your host for today, and we're going to go over somewhat of a age-old question here. We're going to talk about muscle remodeling and the eccentric versus concentric. That's flexing the muscle and resisting the muscle as you lower the weight down, and the response that it has on that development of the muscle in the muscle connectivity, the connective tissue, and how effective really is it. So let's dive right into this topic a little bit today and give you a little background. You know, there's many variety of ways to perform resistance training. Okay, so we're specifically talking about some resistance, getting the resistance in our hands, on our legs, and flexing the muscle, or concentric flexing, pushing the weight up, tightening the muscles. And that flexing or concentric motion stimulates the muscle to use energy, right? It stimulates when you do that repeatedly, it stimulates protein synthesis, development of the rejuvenation of that muscle. And the use of, when we use resistance training, the use of the stored glycogen or stored sugar in the muscles for quick use energy or strong use energy in the fast twitch muscle. And we can get into those terms a little bit more later, but basically when you're flexing the muscle, you got to think about that as concentric. That's when you're lifting the weight against resistance and you're flexing. And that stimulates the muscle to improve. Well, what about lowering the weight down? That's called eccentric or lengthening rather than shortening. So we're lengthening the muscle, but we're using the muscle under flex, or flexing the muscle, but we're lengthening, and that contraction is called the eccentric contraction. So that again is very important. It stimulates again the same amount of protein synthesis. It stimulates the muscle to use energy. So in the patterns in which we train our muscles under resistance, we do not want to just drop the weight. We actually want to control the weight. And we're going to get specifically into the research here that is suggesting that the eccentric actually triggers greater connective tissue and structural remodeling of the muscle. Okay? So if you can just think about this for a moment, you're trying to lift weights and tighten the muscle, shorten the muscle in order to have it burn some energy, right? In order to lift the weight. But if you don't lower the weight down in an eccentric with a resistance, lengthening with a focus, which also does appropriately target your mind's focus on what you're doing, your posture, your muscle control, your joint control, then what you're doing is you're not burning the calories when you're lowering the weight down. Okay. Now, what we're looking at in this study, which is again in the article and in the description below as well, a link to it. It's looking at using the lowering of the weight, the lengthening of the muscle, staying focused for at least 3 or 4 seconds in a contracted, flexed muscle, lowering it smoothly. You're not going to remodel the muscle as fast, and you're not going to gain the benefit of using the calories burned and developing a greater connective tissue. All right. So it's very important, obviously, that as we lift weights, and I've said this throughout all the years, because I've seen so many people try to lift weights and try to get stronger and stronger too fast. And I always said, the muscle responds. You can flex the muscle, and those muscles will get stronger, sometimes faster than the connective tissue. Okay. What does this mean? It means that we're more susceptible to connective tissue damage, and clearly we're not in this to develop any connective tissue, ligaments, cartilage, and we don't want to have any connective tissue damage, right? We're in this to develop this healthy, strong, higher performance body, and the body which we were given to us, what we can do with it. If we train properly, as we've seen with other podcasts, we're going to maintain a very healthy muscle structure, connective tissue structure all the way throughout our life. And when it comes to how we train with resistance, we like to use specifically the M3 muscle finder. That's where we're concentrating on a pattern of movement with resistance, that we're flexing the muscle through the range of motion for 3 seconds, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 1, 2, 3, and then we're lowering, eccentrically lengthening the muscle on a 3-second pattern as well, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Okay, so we're staying flexing as we're lengthening the muscle, and that is making that connective tissue improve. Now, we've always known from seeing different training methods that what's called the negative, right? Putting a weight on there that's somewhat heavy and really lowering it down very slowly, 3, 4, 5 seconds down, and then having somebody help us bring it back up, or bringing it back up and then going down nice and slowly. So you can either bring it up yourself or have somebody assist you up so you can do more negative repetitions. We can do this with bands. When you use a band, and it's very popular to feel a band, you have to resist with proper form the band as you lengthen the muscle, right? That's a very effective way to make sure that you're improving your connective tissue, but also that you're burning the calories. Remember, you're signaling your mind to muscle connection. So when we're doing anything like this, we're focusing on what our mind is doing for control. And if we can continue to stimulate that muscle control through our mental faculties and our focus, then we're improving what we're doing this for. We're improving our focus and concentration. We're losing the outside world. We're sort of in that meditative state of focused on what we're doing, how we're doing it, and that we're improving our body's capabilities, okay? So what I want you to make sure you do here is look in the description below. Go to mindmusclememory.com. Go to the link for the article here. You can also review the study itself. We're going to put that in there for you in the description, and also linked to the article. But go ahead and try the M3 muscle finder method today. Okay, use a band, use a resistance, flexing, concentric 3 seconds, lowering, lengthening, eccentric 3 seconds. And when you do that pattern, that's 6 seconds per repetition. So 10 repetitions is 60 seconds. 15 repetitions is 90 seconds. So we want to concentrate on doing anything between 10, 12, 15 repetitions, anything in that range. We want to keep our focus for a minute to a minute and a half in that range and build up our connective tissue, right? Trigger that. So this is suggesting that you're going to trigger greater connective tissue. You're going to be able to zone into what you're doing for that time frame, and you're going to burn calories, that stored glycogen in the muscle. And this is where we can improve our protein synthesis adaptation, right? To get better muscle tone, get better muscle conditioning. So I hope you like this today's topic on mind, muscle, memory, brought to you here through the Power of Muscle podcast, and bring you as often as possible. We're trying to do this every day to bring you some additional research, some additional tips, tactics, and skills that you will improve on, that you will get to where you have effectively, optimized your potential, your DNA. What is your capabilities with your muscle structure, and gaining from there the power of muscle and having success through your training, success through your life. So thank you so much. Again, this is your host, Miles Betcher, and I look forward to hearing from you, and have you listen to the next podcast that we put out tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.